For my Foods of the World project, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make Äplermagronen, or also known as Swiss Alpine macaroni and cheese. First, I will be washing my hands. In Switzerland, they have a lot of recipes that involve cheese. They have about 450 different varieties of cheese. Next, I will gather the ingredients, which consist of bacon, cream, butter, macaroni noodles, onions, potatoes, and salt. And last but not least, garlic. Here you can see me peeling the skin of the onion, and then we are going to dice it. This is going to be used as a topping. Next, we will be cooking the bacon on the stove. Did you know the most common food exports in Switzerland contain staple foods including rice, wheat, palm oil, and soya, which is commonly used as an animal feed. Now I am putting butter in the pan to melt that we are going to use to caramelize the onions in. Next, I will be putting the diced onions into the pan so that they can caramelize. Some common dishes of Switzerland include cheese fondue, which is often used as an appetizer, rosti, which is a classic hiking food that contains potatoes and usually fried with egg or bacon. Next, I will peel the skin of the potato and dice them so I can put it in the pot. Speaking of pots, Switzerland has a fondue pot that is often used for fondue cheese. Next, I'm going to dice the potatoes using the bear claw method and tucking my thumb. This is important so that I do not get any cuts or injuries. After I dice the potatoes, I'm going to put them in the pot, which already has boiling water in it. I'm going to want to boil the potatoes before I put in any of the macaroni. Something besides cheese that Switzerland is known for is their chocolate. Chocolate is a Swiss specialty and it's well enjoyed around the world. It's made with a technique called conching, where they use a long process of intense mixing. A helpful tip, as you see me do here, is to clean up your kitchen as you go so you don't have one big mess at the end. Now that my potatoes are softened enough, I'm going to add my macaroni noodles. A good kitchen tip is to always watch food on the stove so that it does not burn. The cheese I'm using for this recipe is called Gruyere cheese. It is a cheese that originates in Switzerland, and it's known for its rich, creamy, salty, and nutty flavor. While I'm waiting for my macaroni noodles to cook, I'm going to be grating the cheese. Now that my macaroni noodles are done cooking, which took about 7 to 8 minutes, I'm going to strain both the potatoes and the macaroni noodles into a strainer. Now I'm going to take them and put them back into the pot that I cooked them in, and I'm going to mix in my half and half, which you will see me do in a second. A lot of Switzerland's recipes include dairy, and the reason they produce so much dairy, especially cheese, is because around 80% of the land is not suitable for growing crops. So instead they farm the land with animals so that the grasslands don't become overgrown. Producing dairy is good for the economy, but it's also great for the environment. As you just saw, I just turned off the heat so that I don't keep cooking the noodles. Now I'm going to add all of my cheese. You only need about 2 cups, but I went a little heavy on the cheese because my family and I really like cheese. Now you're going to add some salt to taste. Now I'm going to mix around the cheese and the potatoes and macaroni. Here's some information about festivals and culture in Switzerland. It's very custom to eat raclette and rosti during winter. Switzerland has festivals that mostly surround the idea of agricultural year because most of their food and culture comes from early alpine farmers and the foods that were created to adapt to their environment with the resources they have. For example, if a farmer only farms cheese from his cows, he's going to have a lot of cheese and probably make some dishes from cheese, and that's where it stems from. Here is the final product after I set it down on the table and was ready to serve it. As you can see, the macaroni is very cheesy. I also have my little bits of bacon and the onions that I cooked for a yummy topping. Now here's my honor project. Firstly, I made a frothed Switzerland coffee with instant coffee, homemade applesauce, which includes mashing up apples, and a classic cheese fondue. And last but not least, you can see it on the lower left-hand part of the table, I made a traditional Switzerland dessert called Karak. Karak is a traditional Swiss pastry in which you have filling in the middle with dabs of chocolate. You color the filling green with food coloring. We decided to try some with and without the frosting.